Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to review the new Netduma R2 gaming router. This is supposed to be the latest and greatest router for gamers on the planet, especially if you're playing console games. Now, the router itself isn't like hardware-wise amazing, it's pretty normal, but it has some really impressive software features that I'm going to be showing off live later today and playing with. I wanted to let you know in the beginning that I am sponsored by Netduma. I've been working with them for about 6 years now. It's a great company. I actually think I'm out of contractual contract and I'm off into that month-to-month bro contract land, but there is a business relationship here and there is an affiliate code. It's code DRFT. You can see it down below on the screen everywhere, and I wanted to let you guys know that. So, Netduma R2 router, here it is in the box. When you take it out of the box, which I've already been done because I've been using it for so long, it looks kind of like this, kind of like perhaps an angry crab or an upside down squid. It's got the very aggressive angular LED gaming features. You've got big antennas, and you'll see the ports on the back. We have one for internet in, the 4 Ethernet ports out, and we have the USB 3.0. You'll see on the front that it supports both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz signals simultaneously, so different devices can connect to whatever they need or see fit. Even though it's a sponsored review, I want to start off with two negatives of this device first. Number one is that hardware-wise, it's not a great value. Hardware-wise, as far as what kind of processor and RAM and what kind of ports and speeds and support and Wi-Fi signal strength and stuff like that, the value proposition on this router is mediocre at best. It is a normal, despite how it looks, it is a very normal gaming style router. The real value to the router is only in the software. The software itself is amazing and it's designed to work specifically with this device. If you're just using this device and not going to configure the software, it's probably not worth your time. And the second flaw, this is one that I found recently, has to do with the USB 3.0 port on the back. So a lot of routers these days have USB 3.0 ports, and the purpose behind them is that you can connect a flash drive or a hard drive or some kind of storage device to be used as a media server. I've been playing with this recently in my home, and I set up my PC as a media server so that we could stream whatever we wanted to pretty much whatever device. Smart TVs was the primary goal. And I thought, okay, that's great, but I don't like leaving my gaming PC on overnight, so I'll just do the USB method and plug in the USB and stream media server that way. Well, unfortunately, this device doesn't support that. We have a USB 3.0 port that can be used to update and do various other little things with the device. Media server support did not come at launch. It's coming later, so that kind of stinks. Those are the two major downsides with the device, but let's get into the upside. I'm going to take a cut and we're going to go upstairs and I'm going to show you the amazing software live. So this is the DumaOS software. When you boot up your router interface, this is what's going to load. It loads in a Chrome browser. You don't need any special software or anything. And this is the opening page. We have a traffic overview. We have network overview showing me how much up and down I'm sending. I've got status. I can do instant bandwidth allocations to give more to media, more to live streaming. I can come over here and just be like, I want all of my bandwidth on gaming and we're going to cut everything else. There's a bunch of different options, but I keep it pretty balanced because I use different custom settings later. And you'll also see the network map that shows the router, the two different Wi-Fi signals. I have one device using the 2.4 and one device using the 5.18. You can see I've named them PlayStation, my cell phone, my PC, the devices that are connected via LAN, and even the offline devices. So just the loading page here gives me a wealth of information. Next up is the Geofilter, which is the bread and butter of the DumaOS, and this is the one that I want you to see the most. What this does is it loads up a map of the world and allows you to reject connections outside of anywhere you want. And it also will auto ping servers and give you information about them. So I have mine very simply set in North Texas where I live, and it picks up most of America, Canada, and Mexico. Now you can obviously take this and you can scale it. I can make it basically Texas only or North Texas, Oklahoma if I want to. Make it very tiny, just to Dallas. I can make it, most of the world. But I kind of prefer, let's just do North America. And that, that makes me comfortable enough. I'm going to turn off my little webcam so you can see in the bottom right down here we have ping assist that you can slide up and down. This will reject servers that ping over this number. So if I want to make sure I'm never above 40 ping, so what I'm going to do is set mine to 40 ping, and any server that I connect to that pings higher than 40, it will disconnect me from and try to find a better server. You can see at the top up here, I have two devices that can be filtering on or off. I have my PlayStation added and my main gaming PC added. You can click and I can add any device on my network and make it Geofilter so that only some devices. You probably don't want your whole network geofiltering. And one other neat thing that you can do in this Netduma OS update is that you can turn on and off polygon mode. So I have to actually draw a shape now. Okay, yeah, sure. And I'll just like, we're gonna do America. Dun, dun, dun. Nope, that's not America. We're gonna do only America here. But basically, you know, Florida doesn't count. We're gonna skip Florida. Bam, now it will geofilter specifically in these regions. And it's not even like a radius, so it's pretty much only going to do continental US with these kind of settings, which I think is very cool, and it allows you to filter with a higher degree of specificity. Now what I'm about to do is I'm about to boot Modern Warfare, and I'm kind of screen capping my desktop, so this might freak out a little bit, but what I'm going to try to do, genuinely try, is show you that pinging all of the Call of Duty dedicated servers, probably even the Demonware server over here in the UK, and let you see some of the host filtering and pinging and auto assist and all that happen live. So my game is booting, I think. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Look what it's connecting to. These squares are known dedicated servers. We have these are usually indicating people. These are new dedicated servers not in the system. You see there's Demonware over here in the UK. Oh, you see that? Check it out. Right now, just in the lobby, what I'm connecting to is probably a Dallas server, and it was wanting to put me on one in Kansas City. So let me go to my game, and hopefully I can get in a match without it freezing. You're not really supposed to screen capture this way, so I'm just gonna hit quick play, and it's searching for a match right now. So let me click on the Netduma. It has put me in a lobby, domination on vacant, and if I tab back over, I actually connected to a Dallas server here. Check this out. Yep, okay, cool. So let me scroll down, and this is how I can reject a server. But the ping to this server is 3 milliseconds, which is just amazing. It's measuring tick rates, which is roughly 60 up and down. There'll be some variability in this. Send rate, receive rate, host type. It'll even show me the domain, the fact that they're running on a Vultr server. I can nickname this server if I want to. This gives me a ton of information about my game and about how it's going to be played. And you can study your servers in every single game that you play. And if you want to, you can even click individual servers and deny or allow connections to them. So if you just get connected to a bad one that defies all logic and reason and numbers, you never have to connect to it again. The next fun one that they added specifically for gaming is the ping heat map. It's right under the geofilter. You still see this map of the world. And what you do is you pick a game, and let's say Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it's just going to start pinging known servers, known dedicated servers all over the planet. And you can see, actually, the server I just connected to, it's really small. I'm going to zoom in. Number 4 here in Dallas has a ping of 4 milliseconds. That's the same one, but I can see that what I ping on the New York and LA server and how all of these different servers in North America handle, and the ones that I've connected to in Europe, and even some of the ones that have been rejected. But you can do this for any game. We can go do, let's do Apex Legends. See, look, these are the Apex Legends dedicated servers, and these are going to be your pings to the Apex servers depending on where you're at in the world. Your numbers would be different than mine, but it still gives you a lot of information. So this one is called QoS, or Quality of Service. This is one of the most important features on any router these days, and what this does is make sure that the devices and programs that you want to get data always get that data and get it in priority and not other things. So when grandma gets on Netflix and starts blowing up your gaming, it won't actually matter if you have a good quality of service. So I have congestion control off. I currently have a gigabit connection, as you can see with the 1000 megabit over here. So I don't really need to do with this, but if I wanted to, I could enable it and sort of set, what's the right word? Reserved amounts of bandwidth that my connection can never go up and tap. We have bandwidth allocation here. I can set web, file sharing, chat messages, uncategorized. I can do download, upload specifically. And what's really interesting is that we have a traffic prioritization. So right now, what I have on for my system is all devices and DumaOS classified games. These are really probably well-known games, Call of Duty, Apex, World of Warcraft, stuff like that. And this will automatically give any game traffic in my house priority over anything else. But if I want to, I can add an individual device, like say my desktop PC, and I can give that PC priority traffic over everything else as well. And of course, we have a traffic overview that will show me what my connection's doing right now. Other than the Geofilter, this is probably the second most important aspect of the DumaOS, is that you can do all of this and set priority traffic very, very quickly, and it'll make sure that when other people get on your connection, it doesn't kind of blow it up. So we have a connection benchmark. I'm gonna go ahead and run that right now just to kind of show off and show you what my connection is like, but they're gonna test it via their method, somewhat more reliable than online testing in my opinion. What are we doing? A speed test, ping test under load. Oh my God, my upload is slow today. Look at that, 651. That's not good. I'm supposed to be getting closer to 900 there, so I'm gonna have to look into that one. It'll do a ping test. That's gonna ping to a local server. You can see the graph generating down here. And then what we're gonna do is a ping test under load. It'll show your ping when you're uploading and downloading massive files, say for example, streaming. So, because you'll get different results. And the ping test under load on my connection is actually pretty stable looking like, as far as I can tell. So that's good. That's actually better than, ooh, okay. Yep, this is why you wanna do your ping test under load. So, because you can see my jitter under load is actually not so great. It had a rough moment and then it smoothed out. You guys have already seen the device manager, so let's move over to the ad blocker. This is not a feature that I use often, but if you want to, you can turn on ad blocking for any individual device in the house. It's kind of like putting ad block on Chrome, except you can do it at the device level. About the only thing I have on is I have some malware blocking on, and most of this I left off. I'm a pretty internet savvy kind of guy, so I don't click on too much nonsense. But if you want to block ads from ad servers, you can kind of do it at the router or device level. Network monitor is exactly what you think it is. It shows you what your network is doing at any given time, what PC is using the most amount of data. Now, right now, it's only me on this one. I don't even think my wife is using her phone very much. As you can see, her phone is kind of taking a break there. But if she starts getting on Twitter and sending stuff, you will definitely see, yep, look, she's doing things. The traffic controller is a terrifying thing if you're a child, because it's basically parental controls. You can make events like, say, bedtime for the kiddos on the Switch. Yeah, all traffic, and you can set your, add your rules and end time and when they can and can't play here very, very quickly. Very scary thing for kids. Hybrid VPN. This one's really cool. So I work with NordVPN. I've done ads with ExpressVPN and other VPN and stuff. I don't have the VPN stuff set up on the router yet because it's not necessary for the way that I use it. But if I want to, I can enable a VPN and I can set up a VPN. You can choose a whole bunch of them. You can choose certain providers, countries, username, login. You can do advanced if you want to. You can load in your own configuration for your VPN. And once you set up your VPN for the router level itself, then you can start adding specific devices. So if I wanted to, I could perhaps make my phone always VPN, but never my desktop, or the other way around. We have, what's our network settings here? I gotta be careful not to show too much. So the network settings page is pretty straightforward. You can see DMZ settings, you can see network, you can see the Wi-Fi configuration, which I had to blur out. This is all stuff that you would find on normal routers, except once you hit DHCP, there's a whole giant list of custom rules here. There's UPnP options, static routes, there's port forwarding. So if you have a closed NAT type in Call of Duty and port forwarding, you can add a new rule and you can select the device and whatever it is that you want to add and what ports you want to forward to into, and you can open up your NAT type this way very, very quickly. But the router itself actually opens up the NAT type automatically, or at least tries to. We have different network configuration, PPOE, static, DC. There's so much stuff in here that I don't genuinely understand, but I do understand that it's very easy to access. And these features, what I've just showed you, is really the, let's do Halo Master Chief Collection. These are the features that make the DumaOS and the Netduma R2 the router that I use at home. They're not features that I use every day. They're not features that I'm constantly tinkering with. but they are features that I have set up the way that I want them. I can toggle them on and off quickly. I can see what it's like to be a regular gamer for beta launches, and then when I'm done getting, connection sample tests, I can just flip a switch and it goes to this god tier filtering where I never connect to a bad server. And doing this doesn't affect anybody else. You're not kicking other people out of the games, you're not screwing people over, you're not doing anything bad, you're just not connecting to the servers you don't want to. And that greater degree of control over the internet is something that I believe is very, very important, and it's something that I think a lot of you will value. When it comes to hardware specs and strength, this one is not going to be as amazing as the Netgear, I almost said Netduma Nighthawk. It's the Netgear Nighthawk with DumaOS or DumaOS installed on it. That has better hardware specs and will outperform this on a hardware basis. It does have the older version of the OS, and interestingly, because I have both devices at home, even though the Wi-Fi signal strength on this Netduma R2 is a little bit weaker, I'd say it's about 10 to 20% weaker, it's somehow more stable. The old XR500 really liked dropping devices. It would just kind of turn off our smart TVs sometimes very annoyingly. It would kind of kick me off. It would need a restart. I've had far less of those problems on the new router for totally unknown reasons. So at the end of the day, the question is this worth my money? And the answer is, yeah, almost certainly. If you're a gamer watching this channel, Call of Duty gamer, mind you, the features that you get from the DumaOS that allow you to sort servers by ping, by region, that allow you to reject bad servers, to study your connection, to set up quality of service profiles, very easy and a nice little interface without doing like complicated lines of code and stuff, are amazing. And that's really the value that you get. When you buy this, you have the opportunity to pick apart your internet connection and do almost anything you want with it. This can't magically give you gigabit internet, but it can give you much better control over the internet you do have. And this is the device that I use at home. For every stream, for everything that I create, for every bit of uploading, downloading, content creation, everything that I'm doing in my house runs through this device. And I think that's about as strong of an endorsement as I can get because it keeps my content flowing. So if you enjoyed this review, if you learned something useful, if you're interested in the product, there is a link below. And don't forget to use my code to save yourself 5%. Drifter out.